Go ahead. Was test out a new product. I don't know how it works for algae, but it's a pretty good scratcher. Good morning, fish peeps. Here we are, Saturday Hour of Power live stream. Good to see everybody. Who do we got? We got Jim's Fish, Cecil. Morning to you. Jim got some new diamond tetras yesterday. Ooh. Let me ask you this, Jim. If you have 100 diamond tetras, I got to back off of that. I don't know where I was going with it. I knew where I was going with it, but it pertains to gold, not diamonds. So I was going to make a stupid joke. Fish Sketty. There's Webbs. Hey, man, good to see you. Yeah, we've been chatting, Webbs and I. Facebook Messenger. He's got some cool things going on over there. There's Laura. Good morning. Glad you said you were going to drop in and say hello. It's good to see you. Hey, Swiffle. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Don't pay attention to any of this stuff right here. It just kind of wound up there. It's just moving the fish room around and making changes. You know, it just kind of ended up right here. All this stuff. Yeah. Got a few things to talk about. And streaming platforms is one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. I can tell the future. I am the future. Craig's coming in with some crazy stuff. What are you talking about, Craig? Let me know if the AV's good, the mic sounds good. Since I got this headset, I've been putting that mic like right here, and I think you can hear every dang breath I take. So I'm pulling that bad boy back here a little bit. Let me know if it sounds better. No joke, though. You know, I'm still working on getting the fish room set up right. Finally got this bird room completed, and was cleaning up the fish room, moving things around. Completely moved my streaming area around. So it is a work in progress. Not the prettiest background. I thought about doing the virtual background with the brick. But we'll get things sorted. I do have a little bit more limited space now, but we're going to get things figured out. I always do. Make things pretty sweet. I like my wall. You'll be seeing that in some future videos. But it was a lot of work. It took me about a week. I pounded out a lot of work in a week. I built a wall, put flooring down, did some trimming. And you know, anytime you're building something, things come up and you change things and you got to get more stuff. You know how that goes. At the same time, doing that, you know, we can get new furniture for the daughter's room, and I got to change that bedroom. Then I'll come back in here cleaning up when I can. Y'all come in here and scrape some algae off glass, and I get called to go do something else. Every day from day till dark, getting things done, but we got it completed and just about winding down now for this phase of things. And you know, in the garage here, you get a little bit more bugs, right? They come visit you. I did put a brand new bottom seal on this garage door behind me when I first was turning this into a fish room. And I got some sticky traps out here, and I've caught quite a few little critters. But heck, you get them in your house too. You can't keep all bugs out, but we do what we can. Sticky traps and everything, and you name it. But you never seem to win that battle. You always seem to get a little critter there somehow. And I, for the love of me, I don't know where they come from. You get your occasional cockroach. I don't know where they come from or how they get in here, but I got it down to a minimum now. Webb says, The Aqua One heater that I got yesterday is fantastic. It's a 300 watt, and it's got a guard too. It was around 20. Yeah, you shared me that picture through Messenger, and like I was saying, I like heaters with the plastic guards, or they have other heaters. I think Top Fin makes one that's made out of a I don't know, it's like a plastic or something. But those are nice because when you have fish like Oscars, as I was telling you through Messenger, um, they was playing with my fluvels like toys, and I was scared they were going to break them. So I took it out. But I hate heaters, period. I like to heat the room. Um, Heaters are just one more thing to worry about, one more thing to spend money on, and they take up a little bit of room in the tank. Not a lot, but enough to be a pain in the butt. If you do any kind of large, sizable water changes, you have to unplug them. When I run heaters, I always put them as low as I can to the substrate horizontally, so I never have to unplug them when I was doing water changes. But now I can say, since I shut down all my 10-gallon or my small aquariums, I don't have any heaters in any of my aquariums. I'm using the Mr. Cool unit to heat and cool the room. And let me go grab my temp gun. We'll see where my tanks are at. And again, guys, let me know if hey, Nano Guy, good to see you, buddy. I use a heater due to many tanks outside. Right. Well, yeah, you would have to. Hey, Jim, good to see you, buddy. No heater inside. Right. Let me grab my temp gun. Let's see what these tanks look like a little bit. I'll walk around the room. You won't see me, but I can talk to you. And again, let me know about the AV. If you don't have one, get one. Temperature gun. You can go around and check the temperature in all your tanks. I put a video out on tools for efficiency, and this is definitely one of them. But I also like to keep the old school thermometers in the aquariums because they work. They're cheap. They're fail safe. So if, like, let's say the batteries died in this thing, and maybe the Mr. Cool unit decided to take a crap and it wasn't working, and I had to monitor my tanks, boom, I can go around and just take I keep this with a flashlight and a little thing up here on the wall. So when I'm checking things, I like to make sure my temperature's good. I like to make sure, but now that I don't use heaters, I don't have to worry about it as much. And I like to keep a flashlight handy because I love to go around and make sure the hang on the backs that I'm running are running and they haven't stopped. I've had that in the past. Usually in the mornings and at night before I go to bed, I like to check the temperature, and I like to check to make sure all my filters are running and just have a look at my fish. But let's go around. I'll just speak as I go, and we're going to see. I had to turn the Mr. Cool unit down. I had it set at 78 degrees. It was way too warm in this garage, and including the bird room that I just built, because up top I used what's called wire mesh. So the Mr. Cool unit could heat and cool that room because your garage is separate from your house. So it's not going to get the heating and cooling from the house. This Mr. Cool unit is going to take care of both. So when it was at 78 degrees, it was pretty warm in here to the point you'd come in here and start sweating when you're working and stuff. And because of all the aquariums in such a more compact single stall garage space, you get a little bit of that humidity. So I do have a dehumidifier running now. And I turned the temperature down to 75 degrees, and it's a lot more comfortable in both rooms. Now, that's been like that for most of the day yesterday and all night. So let's have a look. Let's go see where the tanks are at, and I'll speak to you as I'm going around doing it. Why is nobody telling me the AV's good yet? Is the AV good? Before I start walking around. Dang, moderators are fired. A lot of you. Resident Airs Tommy, thank you, buddy. If you guys don't know, he's on Rumble and has a really good. I re-downloaded Rumble just for these guys, and I enjoy their topics over there. So Rumble is a little bit more free speech. You can say what you want without getting in trouble over there. So you can go over there and really say whatever you want and speak your opinions if that's what you want to do. Where YouTube won't allow you to do certain things. So Brought me out of the spaceship because y'all suck at your job. For shame. Slackers. All right, let's see. We're going to start with 29 gallon. It's what I call the baby community tank. It's just filled with a bunch of small fish. We've got neon tetras, longfin danio, zebra danio, rasboras, platies. There's a longfin serpe tetra. A lot of them I moved to that tank when I shut my little ones down. And I got to tell you, the longfin serpe tetra, well, after his buddy died, he was just hanging out in a little cave, never would come out, wasn't doing much. I took him out of there, put him in this 29 with other fish, and he has perked up. He's swimming around a lot more and seems a lot happier. I think he was just lonely. Appreciate you, Tommy. Let's check these tanks. So, single stall garage fish room. There is no heater in any of the aquariums. This one is closest to the garage door, and it's sitting at 75. Now, I do have the Mr. Cool unit set to 75 degrees. Moving on to the 55-gallon Tiger Barb tank. This one seems to be sitting at 74 to 75 degrees. Let's go over here to the 125-gallon community tank. I'm testing in several different places. This tank is sitting 75 to 76. We're going to go to the 55-gallon Oscar grow out tank. Now this one's a little bit cooler, which might make sense because where the Mr. Cool unit blows out, it's right in front of that. It's sitting at 72 degrees. The 75-gallon Mbuna tank, 74. This is on the lower end of the tropical fish temperature to where you want to be. I'm not worried about the 125 goldfish tank here. They are a cold water fish. It's sitting at 74. They'll be fine with that. My 125-gallon Oscar tank is sitting at 76. The House of Convicts, about 74 to 75. Let's go over here to the 75-gallon Jack Dempsey tank. This tank sits directly in front of the output of the Mr. Cool unit, and it's sitting at 73 degrees. And now my Petco tank, where I'm growing out my angelfish, is directly under the Mr. Cool unit. It's an acrylic tank. Oh, you know what? I do have a heater in this aquarium, and it's sitting at 78. Now, that's all my tanks. What do you guys think? You think we need to up that temperature a little bit? Being the general temperature is about 75 degrees, I would say. Hey, 86. Oh, Cecil saying hello to Tommy. So what do you guys think about those temperatures? I had, like I said, it set at 78 degrees, and it kept the tanks just beautiful, all of them. However, it was getting a little bit too hot and muggy in here especially when I'm bringing a bird out, and it wasn't really comfortable sitting here. But it kept the tanks a little bit on that 76 area. Fish are very adaptive, but I would imagine 72 degrees might be a little too cold for some Oscars. What do you think? Yeah, I'm not worried about 75 degrees. That's right in that lower end sweet spot range for the tropical fish temperatures, but I feel like 72 might be a little bit too cold for some Oscars that are growing. I may have to put a heater in that aquarium. What do you think? Tommy runs higher temps, but I'm mucho lazy. Running high temperatures is good, man, because, you know, you're definitely not going to have too problem of a ick depending on it, you know, if you have that issue or if it would happen to come up. Ideally, I'd love for all my aquariums to be sitting at about 78 degrees. I'll have to play with that running this unit, but giving what I know so far at 78 degrees, it keeps all the aquariums right about 76 to 78 degree mark. but not all of them. But it does a pretty good job regulating it. I insulated the ceiling. I insulated the garage door, as you can see here behind, backwards here with this stuff here. And it's staying pretty nice in here. You know, but your lights always, and your heaters add a little bit of heat as well. Webb says the clown roaches are going great. I've got them between 85 to 86. They seem to be more active in warmer conditions. What's your opinion on Cory catfish for the albino ones? I ran my Oscars at 78. Yeah. And that's why I'm curious. Do you feel if I'm not putting heaters in here. I hate using heaters. It takes another space up on the power strip. That just makes your electric bill higher. But I feel like maybe I should run. I wonder if I mean, my fish are active. Oscars are active and healthy. But I feel like maybe I'm going to have to throw for, I feel like because that 55 is right in front of that output and it's hitting that is what's keeping it cooler. I might have to put one heater in that aquarium. I feel like 72 is a little too low for Oscars that are growing. My opinion on Cory catfish, the albino ones, I've never had an albino Cory cat. I've had lots of different Cory cats over the years. I think my last one just recently died, but he was a very old man. But I've never had the albinos. In my experience, now I don't know if this is a straight across the board for all species. Anything albino seems to be a little weak. I know the Oscars are, and June kind of confirmed that for me in talking with her, because I only have 3 of the Oscars. I had a 4th one. It was albino, and he died. And she said that the albinos are weaker. And from what I understand, the albino Oscar sight isn't as good, which I can confirm that with my big albino Oscar and my 125 back there. When you put food in, it seems like he has a harder time finding it than the other one. So as for the Cory catfish, I don't know, sir. I really don't know about the albino Corys. Hey, Raising, good to see you, buddy. So I guess I should touch on the subject of this stream, and that is what's next for the fish room now that it's become smaller. Do I like it? Do I hate it? What's my plans next? What's my future plans? If I took this streaming area out, I could definitely put several more tanks in, or maybe even like a one of them 300-gallon stock tanks, and have a stock tank sitting here for something different, something I tossed around. But if I do that, I don't know where I'm going to stream it. I have to move back into the house somewhere. But I can't set up any tanks here or a pond, because to the right of me over here is my 300-gallon aquarium that needs repaired, and I'm going to need this room, this space, to fix it. And I feel like going forward, I should keep this space available. Everything you see here is on wheels that I'm streaming. I can unplug one plug, unplug the Cat 5 internet that I have running out here. I hardwired it, and I can move everything. The computer, the headset, the keyboard, everything can be moved out of the way. What if I have to bring something larger in or take something larger out of here? I do have my air compressor in here so I can air my tires up. So having said that, I cannot get any more aquariums. I cannot set up any more aquariums. And although the desire is always going to be there, I really don't want to. I love that I got rid of all my small tanks, and I have just the tanks that I see here in one row. It's so much easier for maintenance, feeding, and just sitting down enjoying the fish. So as far as getting more aquariums, that's not going to happen anymore. I'm 100% satisfied. I'll be super happy once this 300's fixed too, and I can see my big fish in my big tank, my dream tank, and I'm happy. So as far as more tanks, nope, I'll just be maintaining what I have, and I'm just 100% happy. I got a beautiful view of my 29-gallon baby. I'll keep this 29-gallon for my baby fish tank fish. I can get more little small fish if I want it. Got my tiger barb tank, And it's just, I'm happy. I'm going to keep that Petco tank as a grow out vacation slash quarantine tank. Perfect for that. So as far as that goes, that's where I'm at. Webbs came in with an E499 towards Fishroom. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. That helps more than you know, my friend. Actually, it was funny. Like I was saying on the last stream, YouTube pays you on the 23rd of every month. If you don't hit your $100 threshold, you have to wait till the following 23rd to get it. And the only reason why I hit my threshold was because of my people like Webbs and my supporters and my memberships. Uh, I got 3 new memberships. I think it was a stream or two ago, and that put me over my threshold. Uh, so things like that goes a lot further than you think. So much appreciated. Thank you. Now, one thing I will say, I'm on this chair and I'm in a garage. So your garage floor is tapered down. So my chair will just roll real easy like that. That's pushing me back. I do need to get myself a better desk chair that has an adjustable height. I feel like I'm a little bit too low. And maybe something I can get with locking wheels or something like that. So Webbs, thank you again. Appreciate you. It's more than kind. Um, like it says here, enjoy the little things in life, and I do. Boy, that stupid Marineland penguin hanging a backfielder. I hate them. You guys can't probably hear it, but I hate them damn things. I got 2 of them running my grow out tank for my Oscars. I would love to find another Fluval 407 and set up a spray bar on that one. Same thing I got going on my Tiger Barb tank. We'll see what I can come up with. Buy one in the future after the 300's fixed. Now, where was I going? So, yes, 100% happy with what I got. No more tanks. Got to keep the space available. And that is my main focus. There was something else I wanted to touch on about that subject. I got to go to the bathroom real quick. So don't forget that stop sign. I will be right back. And then maybe I'll think about what I was going to say next. Oh, yeah. Before I say anything, I have picked a name for the fish room here, and we're going to talk about that too. Do you ever get any bacterial blooms? I've got one at the moment. How long do they last? I got to pee really bad. I'll come back. Anybody in chat that wants to help Webbs with that answer as well, go ahead. I'll be right back, and then I'll tell you what I think. I have a video on bacterial blooms. Appreciate ya. Hey, Garcia. Bacterial blooms, excess nutrients. Whoops. You have a bacterial bloom one, you set up a brand new aquarium and it doesn't have a good balance. It doesn't have a good enough bacterial, beneficial bacterial. Or one, you have a dead fish somewhere. You have too much biological matter laying around rotting, and your beneficial bacteria, your filter currently isn't strong enough or hasn't been established long enough to handle it and keep it in check. Usually, you can get that cloudy, milky water associated with it. That seems to be a lot more common when you set up a brand new tank. During this period, I do suggest increasing your oxygen. Let's put an air stone and a pump in there or a power head at the top facing the surface to increase the oxygen, because you get less oxygen when if you have a lot of bacterial bloom. So very important to increase the oxygen. I would do that number one. Water change helps. Do maybe 50% water change. How long it can last, there's no number I can put on that. It can be, every tank's different, every situation is different. So I can't put a number on how long it'll last. But as long as you increase the oxygen, man, and what you got to do, the most important thing is you got to find the source of the reason why you're having a bacterial bloom. Do you have a dead fish in there that you're not seeing somewhere? Move your rocks, your driftwood, look under your plants, any decor you have in there, check. Make sure there's no dead fish somewhere that you don't know about. If you know for sure and you have checked, or you don't need to because you know it's not a dead fish, do you have a lot of rotting plants at the bottom? Do you have, how often are you feeding? Overfeeding can cause this. I always say never overfeed. I feed my fish every other day. Overfeeding is the number one cause to a lot of problems, including bacterial blooms, because if you're feeding and it's going down there and rotting and you're not finding it and they're not eating it, all that's doing is contributing to the issue. I would feed in that tank. If you're currently having a bacterial bloom, I would do a 50% water change, add an air stone, feed every other day, and try to locate the root of the issue. Uh, it's never going to go away unless you find the root of the problem. Once you find that, it'll go away. There's no nitrate or ammonia. I can't understand it. The tank has a breeding pair of angels in there, so there's only 2 angelfish. How long has it been running? Hey, Austin, good to see you, buddy. You feed once every other day. Okay, that's good. Do you do a pinch of food when you feed them, or do you throw in a bunch? A couple pinches of food. Like when I like if I'm not in a hurry and I can actually enjoy feeding my fish, I'll stand in front of the tank and just grab a little bit and put a little bit in and watch them. If they eat it all, put a little bit more in. And I like to do that, but most times I don't get to enjoy that because I always got too much going on, and I don't get to really sit and enjoy that. But days like today, I can sit here and chat with you guys. Sit here, watch my tanks. I already fed my fish this morning. But let me know how long that aquarium's been running, Webs. Because bacterial blooms are very common with brand new aquariums too. Excuse me. What's up, Garcia? How you doing, buddy? So it's been running for 2 years, so it should be decently established. I'm not saying it's the most mature aquarium, but after 2 years, it should be doing good. And it's a light stocking. What size is it? How many gallon aquarium is it? You do weekly water changes on it, 25%. Okay, I'll tell you another thing, Webbs. Jose's in. Good to see you, buddy. Are you doing weekly water changes because do you have fish eggs in there? Have they hatched? Do you have wiggle butts? My question, so you have a 30 gallon. Okay, I'm looking at one right now with 6 angelfish in it. And I do once a month water changes, and they're 100% fine and they're happy. So why are you doing weekly water changes? Unless you have wiggle butts, why are you doing weekly water changes? Some people even have wiggle butts and don't do weekly water changes. The reason why I ask is because less is best. What I have found out, the less you do, the less you have your hands in your tanks, the less you mess with the water, usually you have better results. Me doing monthly water changes, feeding every 2 days, I have canister filters. I don't have to clean them but every 7 months. I rarely have trouble with disease and problems and fish dying. I'm not saying I don't, because I do. Anyone fish keeper says they don't is a liar. But I find the less you do, the happier your fish are, and the aquarium, because you have an aquarium and you have fish. It's a symbiotic relationship, but they are two very different things. You got to have them both happy to make a thriving ecosystem. The nitrate is really high in the tap water, so it builds up really fast. Sometimes around, okay, 70 ppm really isn't that bad, man. Well, you know, at the end of my month, my ppm is about 80. Um, this whole nitrate thing's been debunked. It takes a very high nitrate, usually a number we can't even achieve in our at-home aquariums, to start affecting fish, such as 700 to 800 ppm. That's when nitrate will start having an ill effect on fish. 70, 80 ain't nothing. Honestly, feel like you're doing your fish more harm by doing weekly water changes than good. Um, I mean, most of my tanks sit at 80 ppm nitrate, and they're breeding. They breed. They're happy. If the water was not good quality, they would not be breeding. Now, as Jim would say over at Happy Place, it's your hobby. You do it your way, but I feel like less is best, and that might help you. I wouldn't worry about those nitrates, man. I really wouldn't. It's the ammonia nitrite that you want to worry about. Leave the pH alone. Don't worry about the nitrates. If your fish are happy, they're healthy, they're not pacing up and down the glass, they're eating, they're colorful, they're energetic, you don't need to do a water change. But that's just my opinion. You do as you want to, it by all means. But if it was me, I'd just leave it alone. Maybe every 2 weeks, or every 3 weeks. But I can't speak for you because your water is different, your aquariums are different, your fish are different, and you know your fish more than I do. So, but that's just been my experience, man. Less is best. Oh my, I forgot how hard to cycle a tank without a cycle sponge. Filters are set to up to 8 new 10 gallons can squeeze filters in tanks, but don't. Yeah, yeah, same Swiffle. It is a pain. I haven't had to truly cycle an aquarium forever now. Like you, I'll squeeze up the sponge filters in there. I have spare HOBs. I'll move to a brand new tank, put the whole thing on there. I'll throw sand, rocks in there, and I get it. I instantly cycled this 300-gallon when it was running before I realized it was cracked, just by adding sand in there from the 125-gallon Oscar tank. Um, Big pieces of driftwood, rocks, decor, squeezing sponge filters on there. And I also did some Seachem stability to help. And it was cycled within 2 days. And that's a 300-gallon aquarium. So I feel you. When I set that 10-gallon father fish tank up, it didn't, it took a month and a half or 2 months to cycle or something like that. The corner store. Yeah, I did that this morning, although mine's not in the corner. I had to go get more coffee. UV stellar sterilizers, I like them. I got one of those green, what are they called? Easy greens, green machines. I got one of them here because one time I had a nasty algae blue. I like them. I think they have a good, serve a good purpose. Higer sells an internal power filter that has a built-in UV light that I did a video on. Is it something I use a lot of? No. I don't really use a lot of UV sterilizers, but I have some on hand if I ever feel like I need one. I think it's a good way to help keep disease in check. But my channel is all about efficiency. And to me, a UV sterilizer is when that bulb goes out, just another thing you got to spend money on and replace that. Do you really need it? No. I got rid of my algae bloom faster just by being patient and doing water changes than a UV sterilizer ever could. But it does have its perks. It's got good things about it. Well, I think Raisin or Cecil uses a UV sterilizer. But do I love the idea? Yes. Do I use them that much? Hardly ever. Would I go out and buy one? No. The Higer internal power filter was sent to me as a review, so I got that sent to me to try out for free. Um, but I have never had luck having a UV sterilizer help clear up an algae bloom. Man, that's just me. I can't speak for everybody. Is a backwoods store still called a corner store, even if it's not in the corner? What would you call a little convenience store that's like up in the sticks? Oh, I got you. I don't know. What would we call a backwoods store? I just call it the store. Yeah, stability. I enjoy stability. The UV sterilizer supposedly kills protozoa bacteria. Yeah, and I, supposedly is the key word there, like Tommy said right there. Does it? Does it though? Well, that's something I'd have to research. In your opinion, what's the most accurate test kit you've used? Well, that's a good question, Webbs, and I got corrected by Dan over at Everyday Fish Keeping on this because forever I hated the dang. You go to your Petco, you go to PetSports, they want to test your water, and they use those crappy Tetra uh, tested kits. I said I proved them wrong. They said, "Oh, you got nitrates in your water." Well, yeah. Number one, they need education bad over there. Yeah, if you don't have nitrates, there's something wrong. But um, I had to go back and prove to them. We'll get past all that. My two favorite test kits are the API Liquid Master Test Kit and Aquarium Co-op's test strips. I did a video on comparing them. They're very accurate. Now, those are my two favorites. If I'm in a hurry, the Aquarium Co-op Easy, the test strips are my favorite. If I'm chilling in the fish room, I will use the API Liquid Master Test Kit. The Why I like having them both in here is because, like I said, I'm always in a rush. I have a full-time job. I got a million things going on. The test strips I can take and test every one of my tanks within 5 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. Set them, go back around, check them. You're good to go. Now, I don't like the fact that you have to have the ammonia test strip separate. Corey didn't like that either. He tried to do it, but they wouldn't. You just can't. Um, but even then, the ammonia with the test ammonia strip is faster. API liquid test kit. You're in there. You're dipping your vial. You're adding your drops. You're shaking it up. You're setting it. It takes more time. But I feel like the API Liquid Master Test Kit does a little bit more of a deeper dive, has a little bit more accurate because you're getting in there with your liquids and your test strips. And we all know that if you want something done right or if you want something done correctly, usually it's the thing that takes the hardest work. It takes the most time. For example, you got to wash your car. You drive through the automatic power wash. You come out, there's still dirt on it, right? It doesn't get everything. To whereas if you hand washed it, it's going to look a lot better. Same thing there, but they're both accurate, and those are my two favorites. What is that noise? I think the flag's blowing outside. Yeah, I have a large UV on my 180, but it came with my custom aquarium. With that said, I only use it in the winter time, as during the summer my tanks gets pretty warm at 85, 87. Wow, that is warm. Do you find any use with UV sterilizers, Raisin? Around here, we just call it the white store because it's painted white. There's not even, yeah, the white store. I'm going to the white store. Hey, Spider, good to see you. Appreciate you coming and saying hello. Jose, today. Raisin, are you saying UV heats your tank? Yeah, I was kind of wondering that myself. I'm doing good today, Kim. I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I was kind of wondering that too. Is it, you saying when your UV sterilizer bulb helps warm the water up? I bought a while back. I did buy one of those green machines because I had a nasty algae bloom in a tank. I stuck the dang thing in there. It takes time. Like the time it takes if you have a heavy algae bloom, it takes a long time for them UV sterilizers to take care of that. You'll get faster results just by doing water changes and letting it go. I did. And as a matter of fact, you really don't have to do anything. If you wait long enough and don't worry about it, it will go away. But we don't like a green you can't tank, you can't hardly see through, right? So we try to take care of it. But like I said, I find less is best. The less you do, the more your aquarium has time to take care of itself naturally. I know that I have an excess of nutrients in most of my aquariums because I have blackbeard algae. I get algae. There is only one aquarium that I had that the plants were out competing the algae, and that was the dirted sandcap tanks. If I could redo this 29, I would make it a dirted sandcap tank. For now, at this point, how do you, and this is a good question for Tommy, I got a heavily planted tank I'm looking at right here, but the algae is crazy in it on it, but it seems to be getting better. It does. It was caked on there on all the plants and everything a lot more. You have to reduce the algae to the point you can let the plants get most of the nutrients and outcompete the algae. How do you get to that point? How do you tip the scales so algae's not up here, it's down here, and your plants are up here? Do you think a digital thermometer are more accurate than the glass ones? No. I love my glass thermometers. Uh, the glass thermometers are my favorite. You put them in. I have a video out. The suction cups that come with them glass thermometers are terrible. Take them off. Get some zip ties. I have a video on it, and put fluval suction cups on there. They last a heck of a lot longer. My actual zip ties started getting brittle and breaking, but the suction cups still stayed on there. Uh, but if you do that, make sure you cut, as I say in that video, make sure you cut that zip tie flush because you can have sharp and hurt your fish. But no, I like my thermometers, my regular normal glass thermometers. They're cheap, they're simple, they don't need batteries, they don't need firmware updates. I, I'm all about efficiency. So digital ones, I do have a TDS meter that I've never checked it before. I put a video out on that I wanted to go around and check my TDS because I like to know where my water is. I don't use it often, but it also tells you the temperature of the water. So I guess if you wanted a digital thermometer, I would suggest going to get a TDS meter or your total dissolved solids because it also has a temperature in it. This way you're getting more for your money kind of. If you think about it, any electronic aquarium device in the water will warm the water. Yeah, it's going to create some kind of heat. Your filters, your lights, it all helps contribute to that. Around my fish room, I got these spotlights shining to help my peace lilies and my pothos grow. So I give them a little extra light. It's a little darker in here. They're doing great. My peace lily in the back corner, my big one's starting to get a white flower on it. Brandon says, yes, between my FX6, my two pumps, and the sump and UV running, wow, 82.4. Wow, that's just warm. Griffin says, what do you know about blackbeard algae? I heard it calls from lack. Blackbeard algae to me is just another algae. It's just a different form of it. I mean, let's look at it in as simple as possible. It's just an algae, but you get blackbeard algae and algae because you have an excess of nutrients, and you don't have enough plants to come or beneficial bacteria or plants to outcompete the algae for the nutrients. I have too much blackbeard algae. I hate blackbeard algae. It's so hard to get off. If it gets on your plant, you might as well throw the whole plant away. I've tried several things. You can take peroxide in a syringe and dip it on there. I heard that'll. I'm gonna have to try that again because last time I wasn't impressed with the results. But I guess you can take peroxide and right down to it and put the peroxide out on it, and that's supposed to kill it. Peroxide will not harm your fish. Once it hits water, it turns into pure oxygen. Some people dose their aquariums as a maintenance regimen just to help keep things at bay. I don't do all that. But blackbeard algae, I hate. I hate blackbeard algae. That's a tough question, Jesse. And to be honest, I'm not really sure. I used to think that adding more plants would outcompete the algae, but I also found that not to be true. Oh, okay. So I guess all we can do is some elbow grease, I would say, Tommy. Get in there, scrape it off, water change, get it out. Do you think adding liquid fertilizers to your aquariums? I would imagine if you're dosing Easy Green, Thrive, whatever you like to use for your plants, that wouldn't that also give nutrients for the algae? Yeah, and that's another thing you can do. Don't let your lights on for 12 to 15 hours a day. Lock it down to 8 hours a day, no more than eight. Yes, I have thought about keeping discus fishes. There's still several fish I'd love to keep. Don't get me wrong, discus. I'd like to try them. I ain't scared to try anything. Discus. I want some frontosia. I want to get the severums. I would love to have a Bela shark. I gotta get me another red tail shark. Mine died. There's lots of fish I want to keep. Discus is one, but I just can't. $150 at my local fish store for like a little discus fish. Man, 5 to 6 hours a day because of the ambient light too. Gotcha, Rose. Well, luckily I don't have any ambient light in here, Tommy. I was keeping my main light in here on for the pothos, but I'm shutting that down because I got my spotlights. I do have a little ambient light from a couple of the spotlights I'm running, but I don't have to worry about much about ambient light in here. Keep it simple, stupid. That's exactly right, Swiffle. Membership superset. Oh, I have 20 long and a 20 high with a crap ton of plants in it, to the point where you couldn't see inside and still had algae. Wow. What do you think about this, Tommy? When I set that 10-gallon up with father fish, dirted sandcap tank, and the other one I set up by myself, those plants were beautiful. No algae at all, not never. And I never did water changes in them either. I just topped them up. Never, never had algae in those tanks. I just believe that because of the dirted tank, the plants were getting so much nutrients and they were banging, man, and they didn't give a chance for anything else to grow. Maybe it's one of them things you have to start the aquarium off right, or you're going to have the issue for the rest of the life. What do you think? My best cure for blackbeard algae is to get some Siamese algae used that way. I wanted to do that, Rayson. I would love to have me about 20 of those Siamese algae and put them in all my aquariums. But I was told in conflicting opinions, right? I was told that people who had them didn't have any luck with them eating algae, but I heard they're fantastic at eating blackbeard algae. Siamese algae eaters, do not confuse with Chinese algae eaters. They're bigger and they're meaner. Whoops. You still see the deleted ones. I redid. My bad. Yeah. And if I could redo my tanks, they except for the sand diggers like my cichlids, I'd be using all dirted tanks and no liquid ferts too. I do have my big Mbuna. Man, he got big in that tank. It's got to be the biggest Mbuna I have. He's pacing up and down the glass. I don't know why he's doing that. I hate when fish do that. Usually, when a fish paces up and down glass, they don't like the environment or something's wrong. They're not happy about something. I have to go. I'm gonna see when my fish do that. I'll check my water. Peroxide. What's the best? What's the best fish you have bought in 2024? Mine was a rainbow fish. Gotta love them. Ah, what did I buy fish? Yes, I bought. I got a longfin danio. I got some ember tetras. I got some convicts. I got a red tail shark. I think I purchased more tiger barbs. I think those are the only fish species I purchased in 2024. So out of those ones, I'd have to say right now I'm really enjoying my convicts. Man, they're pretty. They got the blue fins and they got that orange spot in their belly. Very pretty fish. And I never had them. Next, Jim, he's going to send me some Severums. Love all the questions, Webbs. Webbs comes in with another $1.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. Do you not feel obligated to do that, my friend? I appreciate you. That's really nice. Nice of you. Yep, I have some in all my tanks. I just deal with it. Yeah, at this point, Raisin, I do too. I just deal with it. I don't even care. I'm not an aquascaper. I keep fish to keep fish, and I never scrape algae off my back walls. I let it go. What you get when you do that is algae is great for aquariums. They just can look ugly, but it looks like I'm looking at the back of this 55-gallon Tiger Barb tank right here. It looks like a painting back there. We got browns and greens and grays, and it creates a natural looking, free, by the way, background. And algae is good for the aquariums. So I always let the back glass go. I do clean the sides and the front. Could be the 20s I rush. That could be it. I add fish immediately in the dirty tank. Oh, yeah. See, I don't. When I buy new fish, unless they're going into a tank that's just I'm started, I do. I go through a quarantine period. Hey, June, good to see you. I'm so stoked my electric blue rims are getting big, and my eggs have hatched, and now I have free swimmers. So I have approximately 50 big rams and 100 free swimmers. Wow, that's awesome, man. That's a lot. Sorry, guys. I'm back on that blood pressure pill that makes me cough. Because all the other ones don't work. Is it normal for my clown lashes to be making loads of clicking noises? Yes, I was just going to talk about that because a clown lashes is another fish I want. I love that clicking noise they make. It's very cool. This is normal. They're having a good time. I love it. I still like aquascaping, but I can't afford nicer plants anymore, really. So I just propagate and use what I have now. So they are not as pretty as they used to be. But hey, fish are happy. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I don't like you and me at the same time. Father Fish sent me a lot of plants that I love. They're doing good. I got a bucket full from shutting them tanks down. I got to get them dispersed through the aquariums. They're in a bucket and they're growing up out of the bucket. But Father Fish, me and him are gonna have to have a talk. He sent me frickin' duckweed, and somehow That damn duckweed has made it in almost every one of my aquariums. I like duckweed. It's cool how the roots stick down. It's very cool. But once you have it, it's like fleas. You ain't never getting rid of that shit. And I think he said it to me as some kind of a sick joke. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, the jungle vow I bought off you, I have split it off and it's in every aquarium doing great. I've got Asian ferns, water sprite, jungle vow, crypts. The crypts I bought off you are doing well. I've been able to put them in different aquariums, but I'm just recycling. But they're all great. Plus, the Oscars love looking at the back panel. I got these baby Oscars I'm raising. They're having a good time. They're so smart. It doesn't take them long to learn who feeds them. Yep, and black backgrounds is really hard to even see algae. Yep, and I paint all the back of my tanks. I like the 3D backgrounds. They make a beautiful tank, but they do take up a lot of real estate, and they're very expensive, so I don't do it. I like the clown loaches, but I need them big up. Yeah, yeah, you're gonna need them big, and they're slow growers. I would love to have someone stick them in with my tiger barbs. A lot of people do that because they look similar, but they get big. They can get up to what, 2 feet. They recommend putting them in schools of 5 or 6 to be happy. So what are you going to do with 5 to 6 2 foot long fish? You got a 10,000 gallon aquarium? What filter would you run on a 300 gallon? I'm putting two FX6s on it. It is set up for sumps. I don't like sumps. It's got the overflow boxes. When I fix that tank, I'm really considering cutting those overflow boxes out, using that glass to patch over the bulkhead, the drilled holes, and get the dang bulkheads out and silicone them shut. I would just put two FX6s. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be putting two FX6s on it. Fluval's my favorite filter. They run forever. If you maintain them right and you tear them apart and you clean the seals once, or if you at least at a minimum once a year, when you take them apart, get them O-rings out of there, lube them with a food grade grease, you never have leaks or problems. Now, I can't say that for the utility valve. I can't say that for the aquastop valves. They can leak. But knock on wood, I've only had that happen once on a 306. That was a couple of years ago. They're just my favorite filter. Lots of options, lots of media, lots of power. You don't clean them but every 7 months. Lots of filtration. From the net double dipping. Yep, and I got arm hair, right? So it gets stuck on my arm hair. Or turtles, okay. Turtles love duckweed. I think I saw my convicts maybe eating at them a little bit. Yeah, yeah. I think Cecil said something about sending me some red root floaters or something just because he likes my face. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. I have a problem with 3D backgrounds. It still has to get into the opening, and my eight footer is not going in. Wait, I can read this. I have a problem with the 3D backgrounds. It still has to get in the opening, and my 8 footer is not going in. Yeah. Yeah, will they fit? Exactly. They look great, but they take too much room up and they want too much money for them. Yep. June and I both love our FX6s. I made this wall art. I think she did the same thing. Birds love duckweed. Just depends what bird. I wonder if a Quaker parrot and a cockatiel can have duckweed. When we move the fish, I got the room, or when we move the bird, the Quaker parrot's going to be right beside me here in this next room I built. Cutting it was it? I don't have no experience with 3D backgrounds. I tried making my own using hydraulic cement and foam. Didn't work out very well. How quick can Anubias grow? Would you glue it or tie it into a bogwood? You can do either one, Webbs. I always tied them, but you can get that gel super glue that works underwater, and it's much easier to do the super glue thing. Anubias grows very slow. It's a slow growing plant. I've never really liked the Nubius. I got some. They're cool, but I like all these other plants I have way better. But I have used thread to tie my plants down, but the problem with thread is small fish can end up finding that. If you don't have it tight, they can catch their gills on it or get wrapped around them. So I've stopped using thread. I would recommend the gel super glue that's aquarium safe. You can put it right in the water and glue it down, and it works. No on cockatiels for duckweed. Okay. I got two from Universal sitting against the wall. Go ahead and send them to me, June. I'll take them. I can't afford Universal Rocks. I contacted Universal Rocks to let me review a product, and they're like, "Nah, nah, you suck. No." But if you want to send those to me, June, I'll take them. I'll put them. Maybe I can play with them in a 300-gallon if you want or something. No on Quaker Parrot for duckweed. Okay. Oh, cockatiels are so sweet, June. Uh, out of the Quaker Parrot has attitude, but she can be sweet. But that cockatiel is sweet all the time. I can't. If he loves me, we're buddies now. I think I've got a short out there. He likes to come here and touch my chin, and or I hold him and I go, "You want some of this?" He puts his head down. He loves the back of his feathers ruffled up, and I'll pet him like this. He'll fall asleep, and he talks a lot. I said, "What are you doing?" I put that video out. Did you guys see that? If someone could share that video in the chat, to share that link about that video I put out about my cockatiel attacking me, oh, you're gonna hear mine talking up a storm. Oh yeah, I've used carbon. I don't use it anymore unless I'm removing meds. I think carbon is a money marketing scheme. It does a good job, clearing out your heavy metals and toxins, and in my opinion, the best thing, it keeps the phenols down, the odors if you have a stinky tank. But if you have a stinky tank, you have a problem you got to fix, and that's just a band-aid. But I don't use carbon anymore unless I'm just removing meds out of an aquarium. It gets saturated so quickly. They'll tell you to replace monthly. Well, it's probably saturated within 2 days, and you got to go buy more. If I am to use a chemical filtration, I always liked Purigen. But then I found out, I got a hold of Boyd Enterprises. They sent me some of their ChemiPure, and I got to do a review. You can see that video where I did a review on all 3 or 4 different ChemiPures. In my opinion, if you want a chemical filtration, ChemiPure is the way to go. It actually did reduce my nitrates where Purigen never did, and I triple and quadrupled the dose with Purigen, and it did not give me the results of ChemiPure. Now, it didn't maintain that, and I feel it made the water a lot more crystal clear than Purigen did any day of the week. So, nope. If you're going to spend money on carbon, you might as well get a carbon and a resin mix that ChemiPure offers. So yeah, if I'm doing chemical filtration, it's ChemiPure. Chickens, finch, quail, amphibians, reptiles eat it though. Okay. I complain to them. They want me to buy more. Like that's the fix. Oh yeah, June. That's send me some more. Or you can turn up the flow. Kills the duckweed. I got I got a Fluval 306 on a spray bar running this 29, lots of flow. I usually have a power head in all my aquariums running, or sponge filters, and along with the filtration. What causes hole in the head? Duckweed? Yeah, I feel about them birds. That was funny. I gotta go. All right, Webbs. Good to see you, buddy. You be safe. Appreciate you. Love all the questions and the participation. So appreciate it. And thanks again for the super chat. You the man. They can make you cry. Yes, they can make you cry. Took all the chemical stuff out. Sponges belong in canisters. Yeah, sponges do belong in canisters. Oh, carbon. Yes. Who told me about that? Was it Coro? I think it was Coro who did a video. Yeah, you're right. I did read that. Carbon does cause hole in the head. Long-term use, you want to stay away from it. Duckweed. It's like, how can plants cause hole in the head? But you never know. I never did remember what other thing I wanted to talk about. I read that in Fish Magazine. Okay, Coro actually did a video on that too, June. So you're right. And he put in that link in that video a link to his research, and I clicked on it and read it. And yeah, they say that will cause hole in the head. I don't run carbon. And like that Higer internal power filter they sent me, it comes with 2 carbon infused sponge filters that wrap around the UV sterilizer. And I'm thinking, I wonder if they offer an option where um, you don't have to have carbon infused sponge filters, just regular sponge filters. First, as a follow up on that Higer internal power filter review that I did, I said I would give a follow up on that, and I do have some recent news on it. For some reason, it just stopped working. I got to pull it out of that tank, maybe tear it apart, clean it, see what's going on. Maybe the little impeller is bound up, but it just stopped working. It wasn't running, so I got to take it out, check that out. My new Ray Bingo keeps burying himself in the sand. I'm gonna go for the she jumped out. Yeah, that would give you a little bit of a heart attack. What? That's neat though that they do that. They bury themselves in the sand like that. That's Hugger. Yeah, I've got the power head's running strong. I love the power head. The internal power filter quit, but that's usually the case with internal power filters and hanging a backstep impeller. They require more maintenance, which is why another reason why I like my canisters. Every other filter requires more maintenance. The power head's doing great. The fish collector I boxed up and put away. I can't make that work right. What else did they send me? They sent me something. Oh, I can't talk about the current one they sent me. This thing's cool. This new thing they sent me, really cool. I'm still working with it, trying it out, and I'm to be doing a video on this thing, but it is really cool. So my lighting, you know what? Let me take you guys around the room. I got to show you something. I think I might have showed you already. Yeah, let's go for a walk. Let me show you what I did. Boom, boom, boom. It's not bad to clean the FX6. Lifting is a bit heavy. Good thing I drain before lifting. Oh yeah, I actually set up some. Um, So when I get them on this 300, my two FX6s are actually going to be sitting on furniture dollies. So I can slide them in and slide them out of the tanks real easy, ready to roll them over to the door. And then outside of my back door to my garage June, all I have to do is pick them up and put them on a table I have out there where I have a hose set up. All right. So as you can see, I got a spotlight right up there, shining down on a peace lily. There's the 55-gallon Tiger Barb tank. Here's the heavily planted 29-gallon. It's just like a small fish community thing. Hey, Webb, it's good to see you. Again, I'm walking around the fish room, and I'm going to show some lighting and different things I've done. So as you can see, here is the wall, the new wall I built. Because I used to have, there's the door that goes into that bump out off my single stall garage. I had all that space over there is where I streamed and had a whole rack of 10 small gallon, 20s and 10s. That's all gone. And I built this wall, put some decor on there, hanging my pothos. So first we have our 29 and 55, and now here's a big overview. So right here's where I'm streaming now. There's the 300 that's got to get repaired. I only have this space right here in front of the garage door to stream. And then here's the overview. Right in front of you is a 55-gallon grow out tank. I'm growing out some Oscars in there. Thank you, Cecil. So this is just like an overview. So now we'll take a walk. Pendant lighting. I got some chain and these spotlights with LED lights, and I did that on both of these 125s. Doing that, I was able to eliminate some sit on top of the aquarium lights. I just put it bluntly. The one that was on this tank, the Marine Land, I like it. The one over there, I like it, but I needed to move it because I wanted to eliminate some of the lights I did not like. So that's basically what it looks like. It looks really cool with the North Fin banner up there and the pothos growing and the chains, the pendant lighting coming down, I think. Now, what I did when I was building this bird room too, check this out. I only use the Python for filling my aquariums now. If you look down here, I drilled a hole in the studs so I could get my hose through. So now my Python's hooked up all the time. All I have to do now is take my hose from my sink, hook it up to the other end of this hose in the bird room, and I'm good to go. But I made a hole in there to hook that hose up. So that way when I'm doing water changes, I keep this closed for the birds. This is one of them gator magnetic hooks you can get at Lowe's. The pothos are doing great. And of course, it's all on analog timers. I don't have to fuss about them. The analog timers are great. They're simple. If the power goes out, all you have to do is catch the time up a little bit. Unlike some of these aquarium lights, you got to freaking reprogram. And these night crew lights they sent me, I'm not complaining, but they are a pain in the butt to reprogram sometimes. Look at them angelfish. Tilted down like that. Got these pictus cats. Look how big this Mbuna got. Come on out here, buddy. Any sponge filters you see doubled up like this is because I shut down all them small tanks, so I just put them in another aquarium to keep them running. Big old blood parrots doing good. Okay, so 125-gallon fancy goldfish tank. Again, pendant lighting. And this is a huge, a big old peace lily I just recently put in here. Since I put it on this aquarium, you can see I got a white flower on it. And I had this spotlight to give it some extra light during the day. But everything's growing real good in here. The pothos are banging. Buy North Fin food, it's the best. These two big pieces of driftwood were in the 300, but after I found the crack, I had to pull them out and put them back in a tank to keep them good to go. So when I put this pendant lighting up here, I eliminated having to put an aquarium on top, a light on top of my aquariums, which I hate anything on I hate those. And my plan is to do this lighting on all these tanks. But I kept some of them as I like them. Here's my big Oscars. I do have the chain there. I was setting up to do that, but I don't need to do it because these lights, I like these lights. They're simple. I have them on an analog timer. I do have the dehumidifier running in here now. This is Mr. Boss. He's got the Tude. And I'm going to show you my baby Oscars from growing out. This is the 65. I thought it was a 55, but Jim tells me it's more like a 65 tall. And here's my convex. There's that Higer power head I was talking about. I had to put my castles in here. My sister bought me these. And I'm not a fan of fake decorations and things like this, but I don't know about you guys. But these castles look fantastic in this aquarium. They go really good with these convicts because they have blue fins and like these orange spot in their bellies. But here's the convicts. I'm growing them out. They're looking good. They have attitude. They'll chase. See the blue fins and the orange spot? Beautiful fish. There's a third one in here too. I had a red-tailed shark. The third one's hiding back there. Had a red-tailed shark in here, but somehow he worked himself into the Seashay Nano Powerhead and it killed him. I don't know how he got in there. But again, Tommy, there's all your jungle bow. I was able to line up back here. And again, 2 more sponge filters just to keep things going. And all these plants are some of the plants I got from Father Fish. Growing real good. And I did the whole cinder block wood stands for these. Going around the room. Now I did the pendant lighting on here, but I'm not happy. As you can see, it's real dull. That's Mr. Jack Dempsey. I'm gonna have to do some work. This old 75 has cloudy glass that you can't get rid of. I've tried all the tricks. It's just old school syndrome on that. Old tank syndrome. It's my Jack Dempsey, super colorful. He's following the camera around. But I may have to do something different with this lighting here. I'm not real impressed with how dark that is. Although it might help cut down on that damn blackbeard algae. Over here is the Petco grow out tank for my 6 angels. They're doing pretty good. Once the 300's fixed, there's a good shot of the 300. I did cut down some acrylic I got for free and made the lids work correctly. And you can see the lighting I'm going to be using for it. 4 of them going across just like that. We'll light this aquarium. Nothing's going to sit on top. And of course, those lights come with clamps, and I just clamp them on there. And for good measure, I put a screw right here in the top so they cannot fall off. And that's how that'll be lit up once I get it fixed. You get the idea. All the way down. And right there's that crack. You can see it back there, especially in person. Bottom left corner there, it runs clear over behind that overflow box. Like I was saying, if once I get this back glass replaced and I reseal the whole thing, I'm thinking about taking all these out because I'm not going to use it, and take the glass from those, take them bulkheads out, and just put a sheet of glass right atop across there and just seal it off. These lights are on a timer too. I just shut them off so they're not on for no reason. Ouch. And that's all this tank's going to have. It's going to have those 4 lights. There'll be 2 FX6s running it down here and the Higer power head. And I'm going to put the 2 big Oscars in there. And then when these guys grow up bigger, right now growing out the 55-gallon grow out tank, they're going to go in there along with my big Pleco. And Jim's going to send me some Severums I'm going to put in there. But here's my Oscars I'm growing out. They love to eat. I feed them a couple times a day. Looking good. Baby Oscars are so cute. And there's some hornwort in here I got from Father Fish. That hornwort is growing real good. Jungle Vow and Acarus. Pothos, again, doing real good. There's the Mr. Cool unit up there. Of course, I got green's my favorite color. I got green going all around the room. This is an old Phoenix light. That's the white LEDs aren't working real good in it, so I just use it for lighting on the green. Put some green LEDs down around here. And here's them plants I was talking about. When I shut all the small tanks down, I put them in here. Look at them growing up out of the bucket. Look at the dang duckweed. But I gotta get in this bucket and disperse those rocks and these plants around the tanks. Here is the 75-gallon African cyclamen Luna tank. Doing good. Very colorful. Colorful. Once the 300's fixed, those guys are going to go in it. All of these guys are going to go to this 125, and then all those angelfish I'm growing out in the Petco tank are going to come to this aquarium. So lots of work to do, lots of changes. That goes hand in hand with today's subject. Look at how pretty the convict is. Isn't it pretty? He got two too, man. I think they're pretty. This is the House of Convicts. And that's what we got to discuss. What I named this fish room. I'm not one for naming tanks and fish, but I do want to name this space, and I've come to a decision on that. Look at them big leaf. My wife made this. This is called the Tree of Life. I said I want that, so I hung it in here. Man cave. I need to get that switched to fish cave. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's the fish room now. I'm condensed to a smaller space, but it is out in the garage. I'm not in the house. I'm not taking up space. If I get water on the floor, it's no big deal. They're all condensed into one area. It's more efficient. And when I built this wall, I had to take my LED lights and move them, and I have them running down to this FX6 wall out I showed June, and she likes this. So now I got the LEDs running down to it. So that was a little fish room tour. Let's get caught up. Three months is great for me. Still cleaning 2 every week. Okay. We went for a walk. It's not bad to clean the FX6, lifting it. We talked about that. I seen the web was back. I have 2 tanks that is a tight fit to have to angle it. Okay. Thanks, Cecil. You still haven't glued my 250. Okay. Do you use blue whale? Yes, I have. When it comes to aquarium lights, they're my favorite. I love the Fluval Aqua Sky. I had 3 of them. One of them, the Bluetooth went out on, so I just unplugged it. And I'm still running 2 Fluvals that run off the app. Really like them. Power goes out. All you have to do is hook up to them with your app. It takes back where it left off. Very simple. But those lights are very expensive. Oh, hey, Masha, good to see you. She's dropping in to say hello. DJ Guppy Fish made it in, lurking while working. All right, buddy. You're clever. I just train outside. Mhm. Oh, and if you did, I didn't show you, but on that door going out the back, I had drilled a hole at the bottom of the door and put some fittings in there so I can cap it off when not in use. But I drain all my tanks with a pump, 800 and some gallon GPH pump. So the hose is long enough I can drain every one of these tanks with that pump. It goes out of the door with the door closed and outside, and then I just fill using the Python. Yes, it is fun to mess with. I love the fluval lights. They're my favorite, June. Absolute favorite. But some of them lights are $250, $280. Yeah, autocorrect makes me mad. It makes me rage. Web is my favorite is Chem Primes. I like Chem Prime. And I like Chem Stability. I use them both when I need to. I have the exact same to me. Oh, cool, June. I've had to think forever. You got the same castle? You don't use it. I was using them for decoration, but what happened is I needed, excuse me, um, there was a little bit too much aggression with convicts. I had to expect that. So I needed to create more hiding spots, more line of sight breaks. So the biggest thing I had left was those castles. And my sister got those for me, and I always enjoyed them. And I put them in there, and I love how the blue. I swear to God, the blue in the castles is bringing out the blue in the fish. Uh, but they're loving it. As soon as I put them castles in there, they were going in it. It gives them a place to hide. It breaks up that line of sight. All the aggression tricks, got videos out on that, and it looks cool when it's something different. I probably would have, I probably would have painted the castles. Ah, I didn't want to paint them. They were fine the way they are for me. Time tested cinder blocks. Yes, they hold a lot. That's what's holding up the 300 and a 55 and a 65. And I had a cinder block stamp for that rack of small tanks. It's cheap. You can paint them. They hold a lot of weight. Steel wool. Steel wool on. Did I try steel wool on what, June? Your 300 has smaller openings. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's that. Jungle Bow is probably my favorite, arguably my favorite aquarium plant. I only had the spiralis type ones. When I bought some went back when Tommy was selling plants, some of that was Jungle Bow, and as you can see, it's in every tank growing well now. We talked about patching it, but I don't know, June. I'd rather just replace the whole back panel, um, and be safe. Having that crack at the bottom left hand corner with that amount of water weight, I think so. I don't think a patch is going to work. The patch, right? Well, I would like to put them in the 125 with my big Oscars, but that one Oscar has so much attitude. I'm afraid that it'll kill them. I wanted to wait till I grew them out a little bit, got them a little bit bigger, and then put them all together in the 300. And you can't get away from the fam. Busy. What are you talking about? What you talking about? And you can't get away from the fam. What you mean? I don't. I do like it. I cut up my boxes. I just haven't put on the wall. Okay. Yes, the aqua sky is sweet. Yes, I love those lights. When you lose power, oh, it does reset to yeah, it resets to midnight. But all you have to do is go in the app, tap on the light, it connects, and it takes back off where you left off. All these other lights, you got to go through these complicated reprogramming crap. Those lights, but I took them off and used my pendant lighting, and I'd love to just do that pen lighting all around. Put them on the analog timers, like I've done 3 or 4 of them already. If the power goes out and it comes back on, all you got to do is turn the dial a little bit on the analog timer to catch the timer back up. You're good to go. And it's a lot cheaper than those any aquarium light. I have both 3.0s, don't have the effects. Okay. Does the prime detoxify it? Yes. So how that works is Prime will detoxify ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. But keep in mind, it doesn't take those out. It only detoxifies them, and it will only detoxify them for up to about 24 hours. A lot of people think when you can put Prime in water and it'll solve problems. No, it's only buying you time to find the root of a problem. So if you have ammonia or nitrate, you got to fix the root of the problem and find it. But it does buy you time by detoxifying those those parameters. Corey at Aquarium Co-op just come out with his own chlorinator now that does do the same thing. He doesn't market it that way because he doesn't want people buying it for the wrong reasons. And I believe, and it's Fritz sells a dechlorinator that does the same thing. But Chem is my favorite. They all will get you there, but I like Chem. It's stinky, but it works. Yeah, yeah, binds to the ammonia and nitrites and detoxifies them for 24 hours, but it doesn't remove them. The leaky tank's over 20 years old. Okay. Well, that's a long time. They should all get along. I hope. I'll grow them out in that 55 for a little while because I may have to put them in there anyways. I hate putting 3 more Oscars in a 125. In my opinion, it's too cramped. But my plan is to have this 300 fixed by then, and I want to put them all in there. I'm going to need a stop sign, fish peeps. I have to go pee again. I've had 2 cups of coffee. So I will be right back. All right, fish peeps. Can't hear you. Got me some other coffee while I was out there. What's very cool about my setup here is now that I built that bird room, I'm over here in the garage. It's almost like my own little man cave, fish cave. You have to go in one room and then another one to get to the main part of the house. So it's kind of like private. I really enjoy it. I just got to get some more greenery. I don't care if they're fake. I want to set up some I'd love to get me some real monsteras and things like that set up here. Make a jungle in here, so even if you do come in, you can't find me. Let's talk about the next subject, and then I'll get caught up on chat. I was looking for suggestions on naming the fish room. Got a lot of suggestions on my Tankin' Tuesdays. But my wife won. I liked hers the most. This is now the Aquatic Cove. So if you ever hear me say the Aquatic Cove, you know I'm talking about the fish room. We're going to call it the Aquatic Cove. I like it a lot. Appreciate the stop sign, Cecil. June thinks they'll get along. Well, I'm deaf. They're going to be trying. Oscars are good parents. They know the little guys are Oscars. Okay. You don't think they'll bother them? Just you do shop tours at your local aquarium. I was set up to do that with one of, and she was all for it. But at the time, she said she had somebody break in her house or break in her fish store, threw a brick through the window. She said, "Give me time to get that fixed and get cleaned up, and I'll get back to you." She has my number, and she never called me, so I'm gonna have to follow up on that. I have never done a fish room tour. I haven't done it just because it seems to be an oversaturated thing that everybody does, and I'm not about following the norm. I like to try to do different things as much as I can. But I do have a couple stores, or at least one that I want to do a fish room store tour of. So I got to set that up. She's out of Lumberton, PA. It's called Carol's Pets and Grooming. She's been around a long time, and that's who I'm going to try to get going on. I had to put Ray with my. I can't spell that. What? How do you make McCoji Oscars? McCo Mc. I had it. What? I did. I thought there was only like 4 or 5 different species of Oscars: albino, tiger, wild, and whatever the other one was. I make Koji Oscars. No problems yet. Okay. In the UK, it's huge at the moment. Okay. I like watching web for stores. Cool name? Yeah. The Aquatic Cove. This is going to be the Aquatic Cove. You like the name? Okay. Does everybody like that? They grow out. Look. The grow outs look. What? 4 ends? Should be fine. What are you saying there, Gene? The grow outs look what? Fins? The 4 ends? There's 3 grow outs, and I have 2 big ones. So that would be 5 Oscars and a 125. I think the plant, they're going to be moved to 300, so it doesn't matter. But in the case, and I'm glad you're talking about this, June, because in the case, even when I fix the 300 and I still have a problem, I figure I got 4 months before they start getting too big for that 55. Plenty of time to get the 300 fixed. Well, if something happens where I can't fix 300, I got to put them in a tank. So they're probably going to have to go in there with them, guys. I've been trying vitamin C tablets to get rid of the tap water chlorine. Chlorine means fish says it works and be way cheaper than C chem or Fritz stuff. And so far, I haven't had any issues. So that's cool, Raisin. That's pretty cool. Thanks for sharing that. Another thing you might want to try is Vitachem, vitamins for fish, if you haven't already. One pump per 10 gallons of water once a week. It's great stuff. Does a lot of things for the fish and plants. McOG. Okay. Thank you. The ones you named are the same species. Makoji are a separate species. Okay. They only get to 4 inches. They're smaller. My fish room is called World of Water, as my mom would say. Okay. Yeah, I was looking for fish room. I really had my own space to call it. Now that I got my own space, we'll call it the Aquatic Cove. I like it. And my wife come up with that one. She I had a lot of suggestions, and I even tried combining the two, but in the end, that one was my favorite. Aquatic Cove sounds real nice. Sounds relaxing. The Aquatic Cove. Just sit here with my coffee in the Aquatic Cove, talking with my favorite fish peeps. There are 6 species of Oscars: tiger, albino, wild, obviously Mick OG, lemon. Is that all of them, June? Aquatic Cove would look good on some stickers. Yeah, I got some sticker. I have a sticker here, but I do need to get. I need to make some stickers. I really need to make some stickers. I got to find a place that does it cheaper though, because Teespring store they want too much money for the stickers. How do you sign up for a member? I thought. Oh, you want to become a member? Should you on Android or are you on Apple? Chili Oscar. Okay. My favorite are the bumblebees. My favorite are the normal red tigers. June, if you know how people ask what's your favorite fish? I really can't answer that. It's a very loaded question, but I will tell you this. Everybody knows that tiger barbs are one of my favorite fish, and Oscars are one of my favorite fish. If they could make an Oscar look like a tiger barb, my favorite fish in the entire world right there. Absolute favorite, hands down. It would be my favorite fish in the world. A tiger barb looking Oscar fish. Oh my God, that'd be amazing. I used to have them. Used to have Oscars. You're naming colors, not species. Okay, so I tiger Oscar. What species is a red tiger Oscar? Not red, just like the ones I have. There are 6 species, but 15 to 16 color combinations. Okay, so yeah, I don't know all the scientific specific names and species names. I've never, I can't keep up with that. Some of you guys can name all these technical names off. It's amazing. I can't. So, what is the species of a tiger Oscar? Okay, you have Apple. So, what you want to do, man, is if you go to my channel and you go to the links part, you're going to find an iOS membership joining link. I might be able to share it, and we can try that if you want me to. You can try this right here, Webs. That's the iOS member join link because it's weird because Android users can see the join button on everyone's channel, but Apple users don't see it. So I created a link that I got on the idea of Patty's Aquatics so iOS members can join easier. But that's the link if you can click it. I know the Astronautus, Crucipenus, and bumblebees. Well, that's 3. Opinion on the green phantom pleco. Love the green phantom pleco. I was just talking about plecos on Dan's live stream not too long ago. My favorite pleco that I would love to have is the golden nugget or the zebra. But the golden nugget's probably my favorite. The black one with the yellow, yellow on it. The green phantom's a beautiful fish. The blue phantom. I like all the phantoms. Never kept them, but I would imagine a pleco's a pleco, regardless of the color combinations. My favorite plecos are the common plecos. He's my channel icon. Beautiful fish, though. I wish all species had a dwarf fairy. Me too, Jeffro. And thanks for coming in, by the way. But I do wish all of them had a dwarf. You keep the fish you like in a smaller tank. The zebra pleco, oh yeah, they're super expensive. That's crazy. I think I saw a gold nugget at my local fish store. It was like they wanted like $150 for it. Astronauts, ocelotus, Argentine ones you named. I believe those are the ones I have too, right, June? Astronauts, ocelotus, Argentine ones you named. Tigers can come in albino, red, lemon, black, and white, and longfin. I know June has all those. Spell check. Doesn't know. Oscars. Yeah. I have Argentines. Zebras are expensive everywhere, dude. They're great. Yeah. Yeah. Have you guys ever seen the gold nuggets? I like those. Would you ever keep some? Yes, I want to get some rainbow fish. Another fish I wouldn't mind having. Absolutely beautiful fish. Oh yeah, definitely want to keep some of those. That's a beautiful fish. I'm friends with a guy on TikTok. His name's escaped me right now. He's got some beautiful rainbows. I got to get to doing more live streams over on TikTok too. I haven't done one in a year. What I like about TikTok is you don't have to wait to get monetized over there. You can actually make money on your lives right off, and I have made money. I think I've got like $10 saved up over there just by doing live streams. Yeah, don't mind my makeshift. It's ugly. There's the old axe we had on last stream. If you guys are interested on the Teespring store, I got these mugs I made right here. It's the regular channel icon, and then the salient one mug that features my two big Oscars. You can get this sticker and several other things if you're interested. Buy Northfin Food. It is the best, not only because of the quality of the food, but the business mentality of Northfin. They get back to you. They talk to you. They're not stuck up. They're not snobs. Very nice people. Higer down here making a lot of awesome, innovative products to try. Very cool things. If you do decide to buy any Higer product, don't forget to use my affiliate link. Get a little help on the channel, and you guys know how that goes. I had to do my little commercials while I was thinking about it. I got 10 fully grown ones and a 100-gallon with some diamond tetras. Okay. Yeah, and who was it said they just getting some diamond tetras when I first come in? Was it Jim's Fish just got some diamond tetras? If for whatever reason you had to limit your collection to 3 types of fish, but you can keep as many of those 3 types you want, what are you picking? Tiger barbs, Oscars, man, this is so hard because I want to keep them all right, but let me just. It'd definitely be tiger barbs and Oscars. I'm gonna have to go for my third one, Mbuna, African cichlid Mbunas, because I love the color, I love the size, I love the look, I love the energy level. They're very active. I would have to go. I'd have, and they're very very hardy. I'd have to go with those three: tiger barb, Oscars, and Mbunas. And the zebra is only found by DNA. Okay. Question for the group. In my 125, I'm seeing my Anubias leaf getting eaten. It started after moving one of my angels in there, but I have been told clown plecos eat plants. I have 2 of them in there. I would lean more towards the plecos raisin because I see my plecos on all my plants. If you've never tried this, here's something fun. Go to your Petco, go to your PetSmarts. I think they're at PetSmart more than Petco, but Omega One sells seaweed, 3 different colors you can buy. My pleco loves seaweed. I put that seaweed in there, and you get those suction cup clippies to hold it there. Tear some seaweed up. So get some Omega One seaweed, and a lot of fish like it. They tear it up. All right, Webbs, appreciate you, buddy. Switch to the laptop. Okay. Oscar stingrays and plecos would be June's. Tiger barb and Oscars and cichlid is a solid choice. Appreciate you, Chip. Yeah. Fajaka is cool too. Yeah, that's something I've never owned. I wouldn't mind having one of those. They're cool. Yes, I have lots of snails, pest snails, if you call them. I don't call them pest snails. I think they're fantastic cleaners. The only thing I don't like about the pest snails is the amount of white shells when they die that lay around that clog up your python. If you're having to use the python to suck crap out. I got some Nerite snails in the goldfish tank. and I have a bunch of cherry shrimp. Oh, that's another subject I need to talk about. The last small tank that I have left is a 20-gallon long with what had two betas in it. Now I'm down to one. I had it divided in half with Life with Pets tank divider. That female beta has died. So I got to take that divider out. I have to drain that tank, and it's going to come into the fish room, and it's going to be underneath the 55-gallon Tiger Barb tank, because that is literally the only space I have for that aquarium, and I have strict orders to get it off out of the living room, out of front of the fireplace, which I plan to do anyways. I just got to drain it and get it out here. But I'll have to move my Fluval 407 off to the side to make room for it on the right-hand side there. I need another Fluval 407. I need two more of them. How can you not have snails in your tanks there, right? It's funny the way you said that, Gene. That's true too. 100% true. Oh, they come. They're crazy, these damn snails. IR Oscar Stanks. Betas will eat them. Goldfish will eat them. You have no snails in your 125? It doesn't. I feel like once you get snails, they're much like duckweed. Let me tell you a little story about these snails. It was 2016. We were moving from up north, Pennsylvania, where I was born and raised, to here, down south here, North Carolina. I had two tanks running at the time. As a matter of fact, these two tanks I'm looking at right here, the 55 and the 29. Packed them up, moved them down. All the fish survived, set them up. However, I had a 5-gallon bucket of gravel that I had set outside when we were moving in. Hurricane Matthew came through. We had to leave. We were out in the boonies. I mean, out in the boonies, nothing around us but like one house and all cornfields, woods. First to lose power, last to get it on. Well, a week and a half later, we came back. The power was finally back on. All the goldfish that I had at the 55 at the time survived. No problems. The goldfish are amazing. But the fish I had in the 29 had passed. There was no filtration, no nothing for a week and a half. And the goldfish still survived. I've talked about that on past live streams and videos about how they're able to survive that kind of a situation. At any rate, it must have been, I want to say something like a year, maybe 2 years. I decided to go out and get that bucket of gravel that I had set down when we moved in. Would you believe that the rain that would get in the bucket and the water that was in that bucket when I moved from the aquarium, the snails were still in there alive? More of them, because they reproduced like rabbits. So I believe when you have snails, they're like duckweed, and eventually they will get in all your aquariums. But I don't mind them. I never had a cleaner tank when I had an overall exceeding the amount of snails in a 125. They clean everything. The plants, the rocks, you have nothing. They're fantastic. Fantastic tank cleaners in large amounts. I was asking because some fish will eat plants just because of snail eggs. Oh, that's true. But like maybe like by accident, or the slime eggs on there. Yeah, I see what you're saying. That makes sense. I would keep shrimp, catfish, and live bears. Shrimp, catfish, and live bears. Those your favorite? Okay, very cool. Very cool. I got shrimp. I got cherry shrimp. If the Nano Aquarium guy's still in here, I did find that they still have 2 blue shrimps that are still alive. I got some live bears. I got shrimp, and I got catfish. Did you see my pictus? You might have came in later. I got pictus catfish. I got plecos. I like pictus cat. I call them my race cars. They're cool. Accident about a mystery snail, so now I have Timmy. And I noticed that they came with that goldfish tank when I bought it. You'll see these little white dots on everything. And Ben Ochart was able to actually tell me that all those are is unfertile Nerite snail eggs. They're just unfertile. They lay them everywhere. I had 3 or 4 of them in there. They're still in there. Got black ones, brown ones. They're pretty cool. Something different. Another thing I'd like to get is a crayfish. One of them blue ones. Dang it, Mister. My 125 really has Denison barbs, rosy barbs and rainbows, plecos, anglefish, and quarters. Very cool. Sounds like a cool mix. Sounds like a lot of activity. Hey Mel, good to see you. It's okay. You don't have to be apologizing for being late. There are no snails in my Oscar tank. They ate them all. Yeah. Thanks for wrangling me, Cecil. Hey Mel. Yeah, I didn't think about that either. It's a good point. Dude, yeah, I had a bucket of gravel outside for 7 months with gravel I put off cleaning because I switched to the sand pea pebble mix. Went out there to grab some of the mix, some sand to quick start it, and there we go. And the snails were still alive and doing well. They're crazy. Yep, better late than never. Hey, Shirley, good to see you. Seems like people were just waking up. It's almost 11 o'clock. You guys should have already been up, or at least like me, 2, 3 hours working and getting stuff done. You guys are just now getting up. I don't care if it's Saturday. That's no excuse. You have enough time to sleep with your dad. You guys are just waking up, and it's 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Right? We gotta have a sit down and have a conversation. We got the squeaks and the roars in. That's all right. I like seeing it. Itchy ear. Shirley says, I've been up for 2 hours. It's only 8 here. Oh, Shirley, if you feel comfortable, where do you live? I thought I knew where you live, but it's only 8 in the morning. It's like 11 o'clock in North Carolina. Ooh, you didn't go to bed 2 a.m. Ooh. I, I'm like an old man when it comes to my sleep, but I work so much to do so much, most of the time. I'm tired by the time 9 o'clock comes. So by 9 and 10 o'clock, I'm heading to the bedroom. I'm tired. Washington State. Okay, 8 a.m. So talked about what's for the future plans for the fish room. Talked about completing the bird room. Talked about the official name of the fish room that I've got here, the Aquatic Cove. Shout out to the wife. Really enjoy that. Um, we did a little fish room tour. Um, did a little bit of everything. Had some great conversation. Webb's coming in with all kinds of great questions, and Jeffro came in with a great question. I really enjoyed this. I stayed at Menage a tank crisis. Oh, uh-oh. What was the crisis? And I thought you were being funny with that Menage thing. But let me ask you this, Shirley. Why is Menage coming up in your auto predict for your text? What? I'm just asking. She meant to type, where did it go? She meant to type because, but Menage replaced it. The cycle of my well stocked 75 crashed. What do you got in it? Well, why? Too new, probably, huh? Hair algae? We were just talking about hair algae and algae not long ago. But basically, if you have algae, you have an imbalance of nutrients. You have too many nutrients in your tank. You got your lights on too long. You have too many nutrients. Maybe you have a dead fish you're not finding. Um, maybe you have too many broken down plant matter, plant leaves, and biomatter broken down. You have too much nutrients in your aquarium, and it's an imbalance to where your aquarium's not offsetting that. Keeping your lights on too long a day. I recommend no more than 8 hours a day or less. These are the things that causes all algae. How to fix it? You got to find the root of the problem. Um, you've got to figure out what's causing the excess nutrients in your aquarium. You can help combat it by adding more plants. Although I was just talking to Tommy today, and he said he experimented with that, and he had a crap ton of plants in it, and he still had the issue. Any algae is caused by too much excessive nutrients in your tank. You have to find the root of the problem to fix it, and that's plain and simple. It's the only way you're going to get rid of it. Um, you can get algae eaters, things like Siamese algae eaters. That Cecil, I think it was, reminded me of. You can get plecos. They'll do it when they're young, but when they get older, they get pretty lazy. Uh, but Siamese algae eaters, like snails. Snails are great eaters. So I would recommend lowering your lighting to no more than 8 hours a day or less. You can also add a cleanup crew, such as what I just discussed. Um, phosphate pads. You can put phosphate pads in your aquarium. It does help get rid of some of them phosphates, which is a nutrient that can help, we can help reduce the algae. There's several steps you can take, but try all of them and see what happens. Don't add a chemical, just freaking do it naturally. Well, I say out. Well, apparently I say it too much. I have one tank it popped up in, and no matter how much I cut and pull it out, yeah, yeah, I got algae all over. I don't even worry about it anymore. Like think it was Cecil or Raisin was saying, I don't even worry about it anymore. It is what it is. Algae is good for your aquarium. It just doesn't look the prettiest. I like algae. Um, I just scrape it off and keep going at this point. My daughter turned the main filter out, and my daughter ruined the main filter in super hot water. Uh-oh, I got you. That's never good. Oh boy, sorry to hear that. Well, what Charlie, you probably already know this, but what you can do is just take some media out of your uh, other established filters and put in there. You can also maybe grab some sand and rocks from established aquarium, put in the tank. Anything you can do. Sea Chem Stability, Fritz, Zyme 7, whatever you use, whatever you have, Tetra Safe Start, whatever good bacteria in the bottle to help give that beneficial bacteria a boost. The algae spores are in the water. All right, you two Raisin. See you, buddy. Hey, there's Webbs again. Good to see you, buddy. So, yeah, lots of things. Lots of things. But I don't know. Some people like their crystal clear water and they like the tanks looking immaculate. I let the algae grow on the back wall, sometimes the side walls, depending on where the tank is. I only clean the front. I think it looks more natural. I think it looks pretty. Algae is good for the aquarium. It doesn't look the prettiest, but I'm not an aquascaper. I keep fish to keep fish. When I look at my aquariums, I feel like if I put goggles on and stuck my head underneath of a pond or a lake, that this is what I would see. Some 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 broken down plant matter, wood, algae, weird looking things that just in there, snails. I feel like my tanks look like what you would see if you could pierce the water with goggles and look at the underground world. This is what you would see. Not real pretty. Kind of, some of them kind of ugly, but it looks very natural. And I do once a month maintenance, once a month water changes. And even at that, now with the Oscars, I'll get a lot more buildup of uneaten food and poop. They're big fish. Um, I suck all that out, obviously. Same with any tankers of pleco in uneaten food or any food that you might have there that's got the white fungus growing on it. Obviously, I get that stuff out, but very minimal gravel vacuuming. I basically just have to scrape the algae, do the water change, clean my filters every 7 months. I don't have a lot of issues with disease and problems. But like I said, the tanks don't look the prettiest, but they work. The fish are happy. They're healthy. They're colorful. They're energetic. Although this big and Boona here, he keeps going up, pacing up and down the glass. I am gonna test the water in that tank, see if I got something going. He's the only one doing it, but I don't know why he's doing it. But that Mbuna is big. He got big since I pulled him out of there and put him in that tank. DSP. What is DSP? What's DSP, Jeffro? Yeah, I switched filters with a cycled tank that had an extra, and the 75 has a bacteria in the rest of the tank, and in the canister should be okay. Yeah. Now, I when I clean my filters, I use tap water. I've done a video on that. I learned from bigger YouTube channels that it's fine, so I tried it and I've never had an issue. You can clean all your media and your filters with tap water. It's not going to be a problem. They get cleaner, faster, more thorough. And because of the fact of the matter is, the tap water, the chlorine in your tap water just is not going to kill off every bit of the beneficial bacteria in your filter. It's not going to do it. It doesn't kill off enough to become a problem. Now, I feel like that's good for an established, mature tank. If you have a brand new tank that's only been running, say, a year or less, I didn't recommend using tap water. Then you might want to clean it off in your aquarium water until it's had more time to mature and you've got a good, strong, beneficial bacteria everywhere. Then you can go ahead and start with your tap water cleanings. And that's all I do now. I have a table set outside my back door. I take my filters out there. I pull it apart. It gets so clean, so much faster, and very simple to do. Set up a shrimp Skittles tank. I tried to do that. I started with the blue ones. Nano sent me some. They all died off except for two, but I need to get some yellows and some other ones. I'd like to do that. Those are in with my beta. That tank I was discussing, I happened to bring out here. I like green walls, everything but the front glass, though. I've had two ships. Same, Jeffro. That's what I do. I did 3 water changes on it yesterday as the ammonia was up to 6 ppm between when she ruined the day before when I tested yesterday, and the fish were gasping at surface. Add some air stones in there. If you dose Chem Prime, surely it'll detoxify that. It won't take it out, but it will buy you time if you haven't done that already. But I know you know all that. OMG, this phone is determined. I have the same issue with this stupid Android. Sometimes texting on them is horrible. I could just throw the damn thing. Dead shrimp powder. Dead shrimp powder? I've never heard of that, Jeffro. I've never heard of that. I use tap as well, always have. It's the hot water. Yeah, I don't use hot. I just use the cool water. It is a microbacteria and vitamin supplement. It can be used at the initial setup to speed up the cycle. Oh, okay. Uh, so if you set up a new tank and use that, how fast does it cycle the tank? How soon, Jeffro? Have you used it just that alone to cycle a new tank? And if so, how long did it take? And you could use it as fry food. That's handy. Yeah, I dosed with Chem Safe, extra airstone and all, and they're doing much better. Okay, good, Shirley. Good. I'm glad that you got that taken care of. Water changes won't fix ammonia. No, they won't. No, it will not fix the ammonia issue. You got to, again, this is one of the things, and June's right in what she's saying here. It's not going to, you got to get the problem at hand. But in this case, Shirley knew what the problem was. She attacked it, and we're good to go. But either way, Prime will, buy you time and keep your fish safe. I tried getting a hold of Chem many, many times to let me review some of their products. They won't even think about me. I'd love to have Chem as a sponsor. But my dream company's Fluval, and I've contacted them 4 times. They got back to me, but they ain't having it. I don't blame them. I'm a little. They'd be a loss for them, for my channel. God, Fluval, that's my dream sponsor right there. Hey, we're sending you an FX2 to try out. Okay. 6 days, you'll have 4 green walls and a good strong cycle. Okay, Jeffro, I never heard of DPS. Hey, Vinoski, good to see you. Surely add some bacteria that will help. Yeah, just pop in some Chem or stability in there. I know, June, the issue was a cycle crash for my daughter. Yeah. Just about to become. I appreciate your website. I shared the iOS join link in there. If if you're interested, don't feel obligated, but there's the iOS member join link. Also, if you have multiple tanks, go ahead and throw extra sponge. Exactly, Jeff. And that is something to do. If you were here when I did my fish room tour, I shut down all my small tanks and I took all them sponge filters and I put them in my existing aquariums to keep them going. I'll squeeze them off in there. I'll be doing it for this 300 when I fix it and get it cycled again. I'm going to be squeezing off my sponge filters and adding stuff in there like driftwood rocks, anything that's got the good bacteria on it. I instantly cycled that 300-gallon tank doing that stuff. But yep, I always have some spare sponge filters. Well, maybe you got to set up a quarantine tank. You bought some new fish. You got a sick fish. Fill up the 10-gallon. Put an established sponge filter in there. You're good to go. Always a smart idea. Very good point, Jepper, to bring that up. Always have some spare sponge filters sitting around ready to go. I caught it. They said they think about it, still thinking, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Jeffrey, I got 24 tanks so far, and almost all are running an extra sponge for such an occasion. Running. I have some Seachem Flourish. I got it for free with the purchase of my local fish store, and it is what I can do with it. Seachem Flourish, yeah, it's for your plants. Just dose it in your planted tanks. I used to keep all those Flourish line bottles, but it gets to be too much. Now I just dose Thrive. It's an all-in-one. It's got a little bit stronger of a concentrate than Easy Green. It's the same thing as Easy Green, except Thrive's the original maker, and it's a little bit stronger. One pump, 10 gallons of water, and you're good to go. You're not messing around with all those Flourish bottles. The only thing good about the Seachem Flourish line is because they give you so many bottles, they're very watered down. They're not very strong, but what it does is give you a lot more options to curate them to your needs. Because you have so many different bottles. But that gets expensive. That's a lot of bottles, and you're juggling all these bottles. My suggestion, my favorite liquid fertilizer is Thrive. They also make one safe for shrimp. Swap one of the extras for that one that got cleaned out of the hot wire, catch up in no time. I always keep extra sponges in my aquarium. Heck yeah. Yeah, it sounds like we're all on the same page with the sponges. Now you're playing the waiting game, right? If they'll be fine later, if they'll be fine then. If anything, it was a learning experience for the little one. We all been there. Yeah, absolutely. Aqua. I have Thrive, Easy Green, and a few two of the 2H Aquarius first. Now, first, I don't think I'll run out of birds anytime soon. Yeah. I stopped using the Flourish line, and after so many, I think it's like after 6 months of opening it, they recommend having to keep that in the fridge. Again, something else I don't want to mess with. My channel is all about efficiency, making things easier, quicker, so you can spend more time enjoying your fish and less time doing work. So if I can get a fertilizer and a pump bottle, I can go around on my tanks, pump, 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 pump. I've done Easy Green, I've done Thrive. I get much better results with Thrive. I'm going to do that. I don't want to store 8 bottles of different things. So, yes, Thrive is awesome. Webbs Aquatics became a new member of the channel. Thank you, sir. Becoming a member of the channel, you will have access to perks when available, such as filters, lights, which I have some lights coming up. Members are going to have the ability to have 2 night crew lights that I'm going to be doing a giveaway. This is going to be after I get my 300-gallon quick fixed up because I got to save my money. We've had that discussion. Once that's done, I have 2 night crew lights I'm going to be doing a membership giveaway to. So things like that, you get a little bit more perks as a member and other things, but that's the main thing. You're going to be more eligible to get more expensive and more valuable giveaways when they're available. Everybody that's a subscriber or a member is going to be available when I do giveaways on Northwind Foods and things like that. I have two Bug Pros and a Nano Bite Nano that I have to do a giveaway on. But like I said, I got to wait a little bit until I get this tank fixed. I have got to get this 300-gallon fixed. And so thank you, Webbs. I appreciate you. June's been a member for 4 months. Does she now June does is at the June level. If you pick the June level membership, that's that's the biggest membership you can get. She's the June level membership. June is a very big supporter of most channels. She does a very good job supporting all of us. You always see her on all of our live streams. Even how many of us are doing this, she's always on there. She might not make them all, but she's always coming on and she supports every one of us, and she supports us at a June level. So thank you, June. Anita didn't know any better. She was just trying to help Shirley. Yeah, it happens. We all make mistakes. It's called being human, human. I bought a huge bottle of Thrive for all my tanks, but I keep forgetting I have it. I need to fertilize it today. Well, Shirley, go ahead. If you're sick of forgetting about it, go ahead and send it to me. I'll use it. Thrive. So I'll talk about. We've been live for over 2 hours. So I'm going to end it with one subject. We're going to go ahead and start tapering off here. I'm going to talk about the main products that I use, my go-tos, and the things I use the most. And then we're going to go ahead and shut this stream down. Stick around for the outro video, and I'm also going to play a membership appreciation. No, I'm not. I got to fix that. I got to adjust that membership shout out video. I got to add some people like Webbs and Christine and somebody else, and I got to take somebody off. So I got to fix that up. But at any rate, my go-to CChem Prime, CChem Stability, Boyd Vitachem, and I'd say Thrive. I don't use it all the time. I don't dose it once a week just because I want it to last longer, and I don't really need to. So I don't really call Thrive a go-to, but I do put it in my tanks at times. My main Prime, Stability, and Boyd Vitachem. And always, always, always keep aquarium salt on hand. You never know where you're going to need it. And I always recommend keeping medications on hand because sometimes salt don't always do the trick. If you have something wrong with your fish, hit them with the salt first. See if you can fix it naturally. If that doesn't work, then move to the meds. But it's better to have these things and and not need it than need it and not have it. So I always recommend having them on hand if something happens, as far as the salt and meds go. But I always got my Prime. I've always got my Boyd Vitachem. I, I love. I never thought I'd be giving my fish vitamins, but the results are fantastic. And the Vitachem also gives your plants vitamins as well, which is another reason I can reduce the amount of uh, dosing of the Thrive. Plus, the plants themselves, or the fish themselves, feed the plants. So that's it. We're going to go ahead and end it. Thank you to everybody who's hanging out with me this morning. I certainly have fun with you guys every live stream. Don't miss Tank and Tuesday's live stream. We're going to be streaming twice a week, and we're going to talk. It's more fun doing these live streams than making videos. And he doesn't know where I bought a huge bottle of thrift. Thank you. Cecil's a member for 2 months. Thank you, sir. Certainly appreciate your support. Make sure when you guys are on here that are members of the channel, don't be afraid to put out that free milestone chat so everybody can see how long you've been a member. It's very, very much worth a shout out. June cleans her sponges in hot water. I don't. I just use cool water. Yeah, we all make mistakes. Yeah, exactly right, Jeffro. Luckily in here, I'm the only one that messes with my fish stuff. My wife and daughter don't. They like to come out and look at the fish every once in a while, but they don't get their hands wet. There's Thrive Plus strongest for highlight, Thrive C for low tech, and yeah. I got the Thrive Plus. I don't have for low tech. I gotta look at my bottle. I don't have the shrimp one. I know that. See you, Shirley. See you, Cecil. Appreciate everybody coming in. We're gonna shut this bad boy down. I have hot water out of the tap for 6 months, no cold at all. Good Lord, that's crazy. What was your heater stuck on in your water heater or something? Daniel Ingalls comes in. My wife takes care of the guinea pigs, and I take care of the fish tanks, and the kids help with both. Oh, very cool, Daniel. Very cool. Appreciate you coming in, man. We are closing down at the end of the stream, but appreciate you popping in and sharing your experience. It's always fun to see how other people do it. But I'm out here by myself. The fish tank's my deal, so I don't get no help with the fish tanks. Now my daughter will help every once in a while do some things like, hey, can you go send me water or release the water at the sink with the python? All good, Daniel. Appreciate you, man. But we're gonna go ahead and jump off. I got some other things to do today. We got some new furniture. We're gonna swap out in the daughter's room. She's had this old furniture long enough. It's time to get her some new stuff. And that'll be it. Thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate it, guys. Tank It Tuesday. Don't forget about that. 7 p.m. on every Tuesday. And we're going to be doing some collabs. I need to, maybe on Tuesday, I'll put the link in the chat, and anyone who wants to come up, that's what we'll do on Tuesday. Tuesday's live stream is going to be share your tanks and bring guests up. So if you're interested, 7 p.m. Eastern, Tanking Tuesday, I'm going to be putting the link in the chat. Anybody can come up on panel, talk about their tanks, share their tanks. We're going to have some fun with that. I haven't done that in a little while. See you, Jim. You have a good weekend too, sir. Everybody have a good weekend. We'll see you out in the field. I had to stay up today. The only reason I'm awake over here. Oh, boy. Well, I always appreciate you in here, June. Till next time, we see you. Be safe. You're going to see a quick outro video. It's seconds long. So, talk to you later.
Like this and like that and like this and like this. Like this.